in his groove here. Probably my favorite of the 26-issue run of this. The art was a big part of that. It looks really good. The cover is awesome and dynamic. It looks really cool. Not necessarily a team I would have thought I would have really enjoyed it like a year and a half ago. If you'd have told me I was reading this, I'd have been like, man, that's way too old school Avengers for me. And no, that's not true. Because I really got into the Avengers around New Avengers. As far as Marvel goes, a lot of the stuff I read, you know, until probably, maybe even Identity Crisis, majority of that stuff was Marvel. I didn't really read a lot of DC, or I'm sorry, in Marvel, a lot of what I read, was X-Men-centric stuff. So coming into, you know, Civil War and things like that, it really opened up my perspective to it all. Also, Avengers Disassembled is about when I really got into New Avengers. That was pretty cool. I mean, I had my respect for the old school stuff, but New Avengers is awesome. Definitely my favorite setup is that initial team. Rant. Mighty Avengers, very good. Next up, we got X-Men Legacy 225. Xavier writes one bad fucking ass. Xavier writes a badass Xavier. What are you talking about? Mike Carey writes a badass Xavier, and he came through and just destroyed. I mean, destroyed Exodus and his acolytes. Fantastic stuff. Great way to tie the end of the series. Well, not this series, but the arc involving Professor X in this, tying that all the way back to where it began with Exodus bringing Professor X back after being shot by Bishop. So really cool. Loved how that spun back around and did that. I really, really enjoyed it. So, that's that. Next up, we got X-Men Origins Gambit. By far my favorite X-Men Origins they've done so far. Cover's okay, nothing fantastic, pretty generic Gambit. But that's okay, you want a pretty generic cover for an X-Men Origins. You want to bring them in, draw them in, and do a fairly iconic, I mean, I'm not saying this is iconic on the level of, like, you know, some Brian Windsor Smith Wolverine stuff, but it's iconic in the fact that you look at it, you remember the image, and if you're coming into comics, maybe this becomes an iconic image for you, you know, who knows. Some of us have been in this longer and a little more jaded for that, so yeah, do something like that. Instantly recognizable, focuses on them, and right here, you got no competition but Gambit throwing some sick cards. So, good job Marvel on that cover. Anyway, pencils are out of control good on this title. I remember seeing the pencil/inking, I think it had gotten through the inking stages, preview. Maybe it was just pencil, but either way, I would love to buy this book with no color and shading or whatever they add in, because it was some gorgeous stuff. I mean, it does not lose its appeal here, but it's definitely not as pretty. I mean, it's just stunning seeing the amazing pencil work. Yeah, anyway, that's definitely better than the betters. Next up, we've got Captain America number 600. This title was so hyped up, it wasn't even funny. And then on the back, of course, you got the Reborn ad. And Reborn looks pretty cool, don't get me wrong. And I do like Captain America, so I'm pretty excited to see him come back. But I think it was way too early. I know I covered this last one, so I won't get too in depth, but it's really too early. I think you could really milk the Bucky Cap thing a whole lot longer. And maybe Marvel intends to, maybe just because Cap's coming back, maybe he's not coming back, but maybe he is coming back, and they've got plans. So, you know, and they have done a pretty good job of, I would say, since, you know, House of M, really structuring everything throughout the year and really playing these things, these Marvel summits they do. So I'm going to go ahead and say they've got a plan, and I trust them. Brubaker hasn't fucked with me on Cap yet, and, you know, he's going 600 issues strong. No, I'm just kidding. But he has been running this entire, you know, current story. And he's done a great job, so why think he's going to change that now? I don't know. All the hype probably hurt this title, I think, personally. I don't think it lived up to it. The main story that everybody wants to read about isn't necessarily even the full story. It's a real small part of this whole thing, so it's a little misleading. But it does set up, I imagine, what's going to be happening from here on out, which is interesting because I'm sure once you go back and look over it, it'll increase the value of this issue for you. But as it stands now, don't enjoy it as much. And that's that. All right, let's see what we need to get set here, huh? Okay. For cover of the week this week. Okay, anyway, so that's reviews. So we're going on the cover of the week. Cover of the week, I'm given to X-Men Legacy number 225. Let's give you a nice, good look at that. I really like the great dark cover we got going here. If you look at it as well, focus on the characters there. Aside from the giant glare you're getting from the bag. Here, let me take out the bag. Okay. Now you're getting glare from something else. Whatever. So if you look at it, though, you can clearly see that the main person highlighted here is Xavier, and he's right up in the middle in a dark sea of characters and, you know, people he's tutored and helped, and, you know, it's his family. And there he is, the shining beacon of it all. And when you get through the end of this issue, you kind of see, you know, yeah, that's Xavier. And it's great because I know I personally have complained lately that I just don't see the Xavier I'm used to. But that's an amazing thing right there. And that cover is just beautiful because it puts him right there. It lets you know he's the key, he's the light for this. And it just, I mean, he's at the center of it all. He always has been. So it's great seeing Xavier get some props in the comic, and it's also great seeing right here a great cover that features him. So that is my cover of the week. Good job, Daniel Acuna. You were the artist. I mean, you just did an amazing job there. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it because I enjoy it. And I'm sure somebody else does. Let's take a commercial break. Beer. It's what's for dinner. Alright. Yeah. For arting of the week, we'll bust this out the bag. We have X-Men Origins, Gambit, David Yarden and Ibrahim Robertson who are credited for art, so we'll give them the credit. Like I said, I would love to see black and white version of this. Let's see if we can get you a beautiful page. Look at this Sinister. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous stuff. I mean, it really is. Look at that. Let's get you one more. Let's get you one more. So if you didn't pick this up, you regret it. Look at that. That's like the Last Supper of death right there. You just need a table, and I don't know. I don't want to go too much further, but you need a table, and Scalp Hunter is sure shit not Jesus, but that's cool. But anyway, so, oh my God, everything's falling. Lost all my cards. Okay, we're good again. Sorry, I lost all my note cards to keep me on track, because as you all know, if you've seen more than one of these, I definitely always stay on track, especially since doing these. Yeah. Okay. So that art was fantastic. Again, I'd love a book of this with just, you know, no color. I mean, it's a beautiful book. They rarely do something like that, but, you know, something I would enjoy. Bam! So, arting of the week for that one. Writing of the week, I give to X-Men Legacy number 225. Like I said, I really enjoyed the way Xavier is portrayed. I liked how he just handled everything. I mean, he wrote Xavier like a badass. A lot of people complain that certain characters should be so powerful and they just aren't taken care of and aren't presented in that way. And I would say Mike Carey is one of those great writers for the X-Men who takes those characters that everybody seems to complain doesn't get the love and gives it to them, okay? So you got Xavier in this issue. He's the most recent example of that. You know, I mean, he just went through the acolytes like it was nothing and then basically won it with words after all that. I mean, he just used his mind. I mean, it was really cool. And it was a really great kind of symbolism or, you know, whatever you want to call it. To show Xavier as, you know, the figurehead for this peaceful movement again. I mean, we brought him back, or we haven't, but Carey's brought him back to being a little more redeemable, which is great, because for a while there he was just a giant, bald bastard, which I didn't enjoy. I know some people might have, but I don't know, I didn't. Okay, anyway, so that was neat, and I'm really excited to see what Carey does moving forward from here. Oh, sorry, let's go back. I lost track of myself here. There was a point to me talking about the bald bastard shit. And another character is Iceman. He's really brought Iceman into the forefront, and since he's left, what happened to Iceman? Disappeared. Swept him under the rug like a dirty, dirty, dirty little bit of dirt. Dirty, dirty bit of little dirt. It's like a nonsensical tongue twister. Say that like 10 times. Go ahead. I'll give you a second to try it. Okay. Not quite 10 seconds, but let's move it on! Move it on! Alright. So I liked it. Alright,